We are back on Morning Line. Thanks for joining us on the Tuesday. Joshua Michael Horn is here. Usually he's only called that when he's in trouble by mom, but that's all right. He's taking your phone calls from Social Security. Good to have you on. And you know what? We got one line open if you want to jump in, but some folks have already called, so the rest of the show is about you. And let's start things off with Wally. Hello, Wally.
Good morning, Nick.
Good morning to you, sir. What can we do for you?
How do I get a replacement Social Security card?
There you go. I love easy, great questions. How'd you lose your card?
Don't know, just...
I hear you.
Just misplaced it.
If you knew, you would have found it, right? So, okay, replacement Social Security card.
Replacement Social Security card, you need a driver's license. We cannot use the paper IDs. So a lot of folks are coming in, they just went by the DMV to get their, because maybe they lost their whole wallet, they go by, they get that paper ID. We cannot use that. You need to wait for the hard card to come in, but that's pretty much all we need.
Okay, you just come in with and it costs anything?
Nope, it doesn't cost anything. Please do not go on some of these websites that charge you $50 or $60 for, and all they do is they send you an application. There is no charge for a replacement Social Security card.
I'm glad you mentioned it. They're out there, they offer it. It's just ridiculous on that. When you do get your new Social Security card, and look, I can't remember the last time I've been asked to show my card. I guess, and I for years didn't even have one. It was not a problem. I think it's good to, like him. One, where should you keep it? And two, should you laminate it? Yeah,
and lamination is one of those things where I think on the back it says do not laminate.
Why is that?
That's because we have some security features on it. Even though it doesn't really looks like it's just a paper card, but there is some ink and some different things on there, so you don't want to laminate it and prevent anybody from seeing those security features. But don't keep it in your wallet. That's often when people lose it, it's because they've kept it in their wallet and they lost their wallet, or they've stuck it somewhere in the car or something and they've lost it or got damaged or torn up. But to keep it in a safety deposit box, even in a safe place. You don't get asked for it. It's rare that you actually get asked for it, but there are still a few different situations out there where folks, whether they really need it or not, I don't know, but they do ask for it, they require it, and so you've got to show that, and you want to make sure it's in a safe place. It does take about a week to 10 days for the replacement to come in the mail. We don't issue those in the local office.
I'm trying to remember, and you may not know the answer, if you need to actually have the card to get a passport. I got my passport a couple years ago, and I don't think so. I needed my number to put down there, and I'm sure they vet that, but I don't think I needed it for that. I'm just trying to think of instances where I've been asked to show the to show the Social Security card, and I can't think of one.
Yeah, I know. But
it comes up sometimes.
Yeah, there's just some. It's almost random nowadays when you might need them. There are still some employers that require the actual card to be shown, because that is the true official verification of your Social Security number, although most employers participate on the online verification, so usually it's pretty rare.
All right, thanks for your call, Wally, and good luck with that. Let's go to Marilyn. Hi, Marilyn.
Good morning. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
My concern is with the Social Security Back to Work program. From my research, it is inadequate to serve individuals with higher education and skills. It seems like what it does is funnel everyone into these rehabilitative type low skill programs. And also I'm wondering, is it a contract program where you hire organizations to try to get people into work, and what can be done to make it better? I'll listen to your answer.
Yeah, I believe she was asking about some of the return to work programs.
Was that, I just want to make sure. You said the return to work program. Was that the specific one? I was trying to think what you're referring to.
Yes, I think I'm not calling it right, but it's the program for those folks on disability who want to return to work.
Okay.
And what I've gleaned from the research I've done and discussions I've had with people at Social Security, they don't really have it structured where people with higher levels of education experience would be directed toward jobs on their level, and people with less their level. It seems like everybody is sort of like herded into rehabilitative type jobs.
Okay, I think I think I got a handle, except I didn't know. Do you guys provide referrals for jobs?
So there's a couple of different things that we can touch on.
Now, again, she's referring, by the way, to people who are on Social Security disability that maybe want to try to give it a shot again.
Right.
Go ahead,
exactly, which is great, and that's what we want. We want folks who are on disability, if they're at all able to, either find something else that they can do or in some way return to work. I mean, there's some people that absolutely can't, but there are some people that after a period of time can explore some different options out there. Now, we do contract with an organization that administers our what they call a Ticket to Work program, and so I believe that's the main thing that she's referring to, and so that is a contracted process there, and they work with individuals to try to help look and seek and that kind of thing. Oftentimes we work with vocational rehabilitation too, which is through the state to try to help folks find, either get new more education or be retrained for other jobs and some things like that. And then of course there's just the general return to work provisions where if you're drawing Social Security, you have those 9 trial work months where you can work as much as you want to, and we're going to keep paying you benefits because we want you to get out there and try. And then after those 9 months are used up, then we have the 36-month period where you kind of go back and forth. If you make over the substantial amount, then we won't pay you. If you're under that amount, we will pay you. We kind of go back and forth a little bit.
When she's talking then, and that's I think that's a great program, but when she's talking, and I don't know if you know about the types of jobs maybe through that Ticket to Work, it seemed to me that she was saying many of the jobs are you're being driven more toward, some of these less educated jobs. I don't know what type those may be, but I think you can do any job you want as long as it fits the criteria as you're saying. And I don't know if Ticket to Work specializes only certain types of job referrals as opposed to others.
Well, and I mean, and this is just me talking and me thinking through this, but I think that if you were maybe a teacher all your life and you become disabled to where you can't teach anymore, and that's a highly skilled profession, and then you want to become a doctor. I mean, I know I'm using some kind of maybe some extremes, but okay, I want to become well. That's probably a lot more funding, a lot more education, a lot more than what the Voc Rehab or the Ticket to Work program is going to be able to do. It's not that you can't do that, but that those programs may not be in a position or may not be funded well enough to send you to all the years that it takes to become a doctor or become an accountant or become a whatever else.
Okay.
It's a little bit different to train somebody in being able to go back to help in a factory or help in something along those lines.
Makes sense. Makes sense. But I love it when people take advantage of that program. I think most people do want to work as opposed to staying on disability if they can do it. You guys give them a shot to try that. So, all right, let's go next to Kathy. Hi, Kathy.
Hello, Nick.
Hey.
This is Kathy, and thank you for taking my call. And just one comment, Nick, for you, I think you're the best at Channel 5.
Thank you.
Absolutely the best.
Thanks.
I have 2 questions. I am on Social Security disability, and years ago I had QMB on the Medicare, and then they started taking it out, and they took it out in one lump sum. Now, the small raise we received this year, it all went to that Medicare Part B, so I didn't get a raise. I do have extra help with my co-pays medicine. So I wanted to know, how about I go back to trying to get QMB, because when I've tried, they say I make $100 too much a month, and then they take out $133. That's my first question. My next question is, as a single person, how much do you have to make to pay taxes? And I'll listen.
All right, great questions. Thank you for calling, Kathy. All right, so and she said QMB. What is that?
Yeah, so QMB is a state-run program that helps you pay for your Medicare premiums, and so I can't speak too much to that because it is a state program, and so their rules and regulations is up to is kind of up to them. I do encourage folks sometimes to that may have been kicked off for whatever reason to go ahead and reapply, because or at least talk to the state to try to figure that out. But unfortunately, you're right that oftentimes the Medicare increase, just the cost of Medicare increase, oftentimes will take up any kind of cost of living raise that you get in December. And of course, we've talked about that time and time again. Your benefits won't ever go down because of Medicare, because of those kind of things, but oftentimes you won't see any kind of increase because whatever increase there is sucked up by the increase in Medicare premiums. So, and I was looking for your second question, I was looking for my cheat sheet, but it's about $25,000 is how much as a single person, and I must have misplaced it, but it's about $25,000 as a single person for if your adjusted gross income is that much, that at that point you would have to at least pay some taxes on your Social Security, and it starts off at 50% of your benefits are taxable, and really that's an IRS and tax accountant question, but that's generally speaking.
Right in the 25,000 ballpark. And that with the IRS you could probably double check that, Kathy. And again, the state, I guess you would contact the state. Would that be through?
TennCare actually has a contact that you can call and talk to them, and I believe they've got a division that helps with that.
Gotcha. Kathy, thanks for your call. We'll take a break. When we come back, Levita, Lucy, Doris, Brian, Dale, James, others. Just stay there. We're going to get to you. And we've got a couple lines open if you want to jump in. More for Josh Horn right after this.
The Storm